Hi, I'm Jesse with Living Tree Community Foods, and for the last 2 weeks an historic event has occurred. The almonds have blossomed in the Great Central Valley. The whole valley is a sea of white. So last week we drove out there and visited with our friends Nick and Dave Kortoff, the men who grow our almonds. Let's look in on them.
And as a young man, he came here, and my dad was raised on the ranch there, and his siblings. And my dad, when he became of age, he got married, lived actually on the same piece of property, and had a family of 9 children. And I'm the 7th out of 9 children. There's 4 brothers and 5 sisters. And I'm the only one left in a farming right now. I had an older brother that was in farming, but he's retired now. And so I'm still farming actually the same ranch that my grandfather farmed when he first came here from Russia.
Oh, wow.
And so this particular ranch is added on after several years of farming. And we got into the almond farming about 35 years ago. We planted our first orchard, which is just a quarter of a mile from the home place. We call it the home place where my grandfather started. And I was the second person in this area to grow almonds, and that was roughly 40 years ago. And there was no almonds in this area hardly, but 20 acres I had over there, and straight down this road a fellow was developing some almonds out there. But since then, we have probably about 30% of the property in this area is into almonds now, and about 40% vineyard, and the rest is just open. But we expanded from there, and we got into organics about 6-7 years ago. We wanted to try something different and get a more nutritious nut and try to get away from spraying and stuff to an extent, and see if we can increase our income. And so we started planting more almonds. And we started with 20 acres, and now we have 500 acres of them.
Wow.
And since then, we've put in our own plant for processing, and we process them, box them, and sell them abroad and wherever we can.
Good. And is your operation 100% organic now?
Yes, it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
In a typical year, just what sort of tonnage are you harvesting?
Well, right now, every year we're kind of in a replanting stage right now. We try to take out 40 or 50 acres every couple of years. So I think last year we're averaging close to 800,000 pounds a year, between 700 and 800,000 pounds.
800,000 pounds of almonds each year.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're harvesting them yourselves, and you're processing themselves. That's very, very impressive indeed.
Yeah, our logo on one of our organic shows was from bloom to box. And so we decided to go into have our own operation, so we have a better handle on our own product, and so we can have better quality. And not only that, anytime we put an almond in a box, we know exactly what field it came from, because all the fields have a label on them and are identified.
Oh, that's very, very impressive indeed. So just what are the main varieties that you're growing?
Probably the main variety overall is the nonpareil almond.
Nonpareil.
That's basic. That's the our top quality almond. Second would probably be right now is the Butte Padre. Is a big like this particular orchard here is Butte Padre. And Carmel was very popular up until several years ago. We have a disease that's in a Carmel tree. That one year it'll have a crop, and the next year it won't. And they call it bud failure. And so we're trying to shy away from the nonpareil because of that problem.
Carmel? Yeah. No, Carmel. It's the Carmel.
Well,
Carmel, right.
Start off.
Carmel.
Yeah, ended up with something else.
Okay.
But anyway, these are Butte Padres, and these were very heavily planted the last 3 or 4 years because they have no bud failure disease in them.
Oh.
And they're pretty consistent producers. They're smaller almond, and they have a good flavor, and they produce well.
Oh, how exciting, how impressive. And what are the basic methods that you use to bring fertility?
Our main is a compost. We bring in composted cow manure mainly, and we put that in the fall every year, and we work it into the soil, and so it's all decomposed and everything way before harvest.
Way before?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And we drill it in and disc it in, and right now it's ready, all decomposed, and it's available to the tree right now.
Oh, good. So,
And secondly, we do spray on some mine nutrients that are organic, that are mine chemicals like zinc, calcium, and a little bit potash and phosphate, boron, just trace minerals that are mined.
That are
put
mined.
on the tree.
I understand.
And we take a soil sample every year to see what nutrients we're lacking in, and we do the best we can to fill in that gap.
And what about cover crops?
We don't put no cover crops in because of frost protection. Like at this period of time, if we had a cover crop in here, it would be about knee high right now. And if we had a severe weather change with the cover crop in there, the frost is attracted to the cover crop and it will kill the bloom.
I see.
So we shy away from that and go ahead and instead just put compost on.
Just put compost on. I get it. And what do you do about insects?
Insects, we actually, since we cut back on or started organic, our insect problem has really dropped off. Really dropped off. We don't, actually the neighbors around here that spray several times probably have a higher insect damage than we do.
That's a paradox.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that the guys who go out there and spray heavily with every type of chemical and so forth, that those are the guys who have the most problems with infestation.
Yeah.
Whereas you, who are not using insecticides or artificial chemicals of any sort, that your problem is much less severe.
Yeah.
That's very curious.
And when we do, we have a flare-up once in a while of mite or something like that. We have some organic oils that we put on that seem to help to a certain extent. But we found out that even if we just don't even spray them and just see it through the harvest, that the following year's crop still does very well.
There's nothing productive that will kill the insect anyway. Organic wise, I mean, there's nothing that we can really, that's even cost effective.
Really?
Yeah.
So the best thing you do is to try to discourage them in some sense.
Yes.
Discourage
them. Sanitation. And
sanitation.
Keep the dust down in the fields, and just keep the. It seems like we have a beneficial insects built up. And apparently they're pretty well built up here because they take care of the bad insects.
Oh, good. That's very, very impressive indeed. So basically, you are hosting all sorts of beneficial insects.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. I want to hear that so much.
Yeah, by not putting organophosphates on, we don't kill the good bugs or the bad bugs. And it looks like after a period, the first year it was kind of rough because the bad bugs outnumbered the good. But after a few years, looks like they're kind of in balance right now, and we just look past them,
They're in balance. That's what I want to hear. That's a beautiful thing.